and welcome to my workshop on adverbs and adverbials. Basically, in this workshop I want to explain what an adverb is and what an adverbial is, and basically what's the difference between the two. I'm also going to explain the different types of adverbs and adverbials that there are, so the different categories. Okay, adverbs and adverbials. They both do the same job, basically, within a sentence. They tell you more about the verb, so they're always adding extra information into the sentence. They're either telling you when the verb happened, and these are called adverbs of time. So words like yesterday, phrases like last year, in 2020, in Victorian times, this afternoon. So they're all adding information to the verb about when it happened. Then there are adverbs of place, and they tell us where the verb happened. So words like here, over there, outside, inside. Okay, so they tell you where the action happened. Then we have adverbs that tell us how, and these are called adverbs of manner. Now they're probably the most common adverbs, and they tend to end in ly if they are single word adverbs, but they might be a phrase as well. They might be a group of words that tell you how the verb was done. So words like suddenly, quickly, slowly, without thinking, nervously, cautiously, etc. There are many different adverbs of manner and adverbials, and I'll go into the difference between adverbs and adverbials in a moment. So that's when, where and how. Then we have adverbs that tell us the amount or the degree to which the verb was done. So that's adverbs of quantity. Okay, so there are words like quite, okay, totally, really, very, often, okay, and they tell us the amount that the verb was done. Then we have adverbs of likelihood, and these are called adverbs of possibility or probability. So words like probably, definitely, maybe, and they tell you the likelihood of the verb being done. Then we have adverbs that tell us why, and those are called adverbs of reason. Words like therefore, due to, because, even so, hence, very posh one there. So those are adverbs of reason, and they tell us why the verb was done. Okay, so those are our main 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the main 6 categories of adverb and adverbial. Let's go on to what the difference is between an adverb and an adverbial. An adverb is when it is a single word, so just one word telling you more about the verb. And an adverbial is simply when a phrase or a clause, that's a group of words, has been used. I won't go into the difference between a phrase and a clause now, that's another workshop. But it's when more than one word has been used as the adverbial, as the adverb. So an adverbial is where there is more than one word acting as the adverb, and the adverb, when it's called an adverb, it's when it's one word. Okay, for example, carefully is an adverb of manner, and it's an adverb. Let's try that as an adverbial that means a similar thing. So without making a single mistake means you're also doing it carefully, but obviously a phrase has been used without making a single mistake. So 5 words, it's a phrase, but it still tells us the same thing as carefully. It still tells us how the verb has been done. So that would be an adverbial. Another example, therefore would be an adverb. It's an adverb of reason. Something that means something similar but is an adverbial using a few words as a consequence of this. As a consequence of this means the same as therefore, as a result of this, but it's an adverbial because a few words, a phrase has been used to express the adverb, to add information. Okay, so that's basically, hopefully you understand from this that they do the same job. They add information to the verb. There are 6 main types, and the difference between an adverb and an adverbial. Okay, moving on. One other thing that's very important about an adverb and an adverbial is that they can be moved within the sentence. They can work in different positions in the sentence. This can help you as a writer create a slightly different effect or meaning in the sentence. It changes the focus of the sentence slightly just by moving it. So, for example, happily, here is your adverb of manner. You can have it at the front of the sentence. Happily, comma, she accepted her prize. You can have it in the middle of the sentence. She happily accepted her prize, or she accepted her prize happily. So the adverb can be moved, as can an adverbial, within the sentence to different positions to create a different effect. When the adverb comes at the beginning of the sentence, at the start of the sentence, it's simply called a fronted adverbial. Okay, so that fronted adverbial just means that it's in the front position in the sentence. And when it's in this position as a fronted adverbial, it needs a comma straight after it. So that's a rule to do with punctuation of an adverb and a fronted adverbial. When it comes at the beginning of a sentence, it has to have the comma straight after it. So for example, with a smile on her face, comma, she hugged her friend. So with a smile on her face tells you how she did the hugging. Hugging is the verb. So it is an adverbial of manner. It's an adverbial because it has several words acting as the adverb, and it's in the front position, so it needs to have the comma straight after. Another example, a very current example, because of coronavirus, comma, we are doing our lessons at home. So because of coronavirus is your adverbial. It's an adverbial because it is a phrase. It's actually a clause. Because of coronavirus, comma, we are doing our lessons at home. So it's an adverbial of reason, okay, because it is telling us why we are doing our lessons at home. It is in the fronted position of the sentence, so it's a fronted adverbial, so it needs to have a comma straight after. Basically, that hopefully has explained about adverbs being able to be moved within a sentence and the rules about fronted adverbials and commas. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this workshop on adverbs and adverbials. I hope it's been clear and has created a bit of understanding about what sometimes seems like a difficult thing to understand, but it's quite simple really when you know the rules. Okay, thanks very much for listening, and see you another day for a different workshop.